October. We have a phenomenal month ahead of us. Essentially, in today's video, we will be discussing shoes to resell in October. Now, if you don't like reselling, if you're not into that, or if you even hate resellers, that's completely understandable. I completely get it, and that's not an issue. Stick around for this video because you could also use this guide to know which shoes are going to be the most limited, which shoes are going to be the most hyped. And if you happen to not like hyped shoes or limited shoes at all, that's okay too. I'll be mentioning which GRs you should wait for sales on, because you know, everyone's trying to save a little bit of money here and there, right? Of course, there are also going to be a lot of updates throughout the month. I might leave some stuff out as well that I'm not sure about, so make sure you turn on post notifications and subscribe to stay 100% updated on everything that I'm going to be mentioning in today's video. Basically, for each individual sneaker, I'll be mentioning the name of the sneaker, obviously images for the sneaker, the release date, the retail for the shoe, and whether I think they're going to be profitable or not profitable, or in fact if they're even going to sell out and perhaps you should wait for a sale. Keep in mind, guys, throughout this video, none of the predictions have to do with my opinion whatsoever on the shoe. But anyway, with that introduction out of the way, why don't we jump to the first sneaker, the LeBron 16 multicolor. This sneaker will be retailing for $185 and will release on September 1st. The only reason I'm mentioning this sneaker is just because of the fact that the HFRs actually did pretty well. I got myself a size 10 of those and they got me pretty decent profit. So a lot of you guys were asking me, hey Keith, do you think these LeBron multicolors are going to be doing just as well? And the answer to that is just no. The HFRs were a lot more limited than these multicolors are going to be, and LeBrons, or just basketball shoes in general, really don't have the same hype that they used to have. So I would not suggest buying this shoe to resell it, but I also don't think that these will be going on sale. Perhaps you'll find them for slightly cheaper on StockX or GOAT. If you like the shoe, I don't suggest sleeping on it, because if they do go under retail, it won't be much on the retail, so you might not want to take that risk. But again, don't go for this shoe to resell it. Moving on to October 3rd, we have two very highly anticipated sneakers, those of which come from an Off-White and Nike collab. So we have two sneakers. We have the Off-White Blazers in the All Hallows Eve colorway, which consists of the Off-White upper with the orange swoosh. Then we also have the Grim Reapers that have the black upper with the white swoosh. Now, Sneakers Europe loaded these on for the 3rd, and also Nike Canada loaded these up for the 3rd. Unfortunately, there's no product page as of now for Nike Sneakers US, but I am expecting them to load up the product page as we get closer, perhaps on the 2nd or the 1st of October, somewhere around there. I'm not expecting a shock drop on these like I mentioned more in depth in my Had a Cop guide, but what you should expect for shock drops is a shock drop for the Sneakers Pass being for New York City and possibly Chicago, but you should also expect there to be possible scratch drop. So when a behind the design page comes up, make sure you're swiping all over those images, because who knows, one of those might be swipeable and you might be able to watch a video, skip that video, and purchase the sneaker. Of course, to get these sneakers, I made a full in-depth Had a Cop guide. I'll also be making an updated Had a Cop guide with all the updated store lists and the raffles and whatnot that you guys could join. I think both of these shoes go without question that they're going to be profitable. Now, in my Had a Cop video, I did state that some sizes may potentially be around 300. Now, the reason I said this was because I like to stay very conservative with all my predictions. So of course, I would rather you guys make more money and be very excited about it in comparison to me giving a higher price and you guys being somewhat disappointed, expecting that you might make more money and you really didn't. Not only that, but I also did state only some sizes, so of course the worst sizes may just be over 300. But if I'm being 100% honest, for the majority of sizes, I'm expecting $500, somewhere in that ballpark. Regardless though, even if hypothetically they do drop to 300, you should still be picking these up because the retail is only 130. Some of the raffles and overseas retailers fluctuate to around $200, but still, it's still going to be a profitable sneaker. There is absolutely no risk. I suggest going for these. And I think this goes without question, but if you want this shoe for personal wear, don't sleep on it, guys. Last thing I wanted to mention about these is I've actually been hearing somewhat of decent stock for these. I've been hearing about 150 to 200 pairs for the individual stores, but not only that, I've been hearing somewhere around 40,000 to 45,000 total pairs, which honestly isn't bad at all. Moving on to the next shoe, let's talk about the Jordan 6 Tinker. This shoe will be releasing for $190 on October 6th. Now, just based off of how the Tinker 3s are doing, I would not suggest buying this shoe for resale purposes, especially because the Tinker 3s did have a lot more demand than these Tinker 6s will have. So if those are already near retail and they're not profitable at all, I don't expect these to be profitable at all. Not only that, but also pre-sale is very low. In fact, although these might not go on sale, I definitely think you should should be able to find these under retail on StockX or Go, so it might be wise to wait for that sale price on these. Moving on, we have another very highly anticipated sneaker, and of course, it's another Nike and Off-White collab. You guys guessed it. We have the Off-White Chuck Taylor. For those of you who were just confused by that, trust me, Nike does own Converse, so it's still technically a Nike and Off-White collab, but basically, this is the version 2 of it. Regarding my opinion on this sneaker, I've never been a fan of Converse or Chuck Taylor, so even though it's an Off-White collab, I'm definitely not going to be keeping these. Definitely going to be reselling these. You guys can make a ton of profit on these, especially with the retail, probably only going to be like $130. These will be releasing on October 8th, if you were wondering. And yeah, I got the last pair, and in hand, they were kind of unique. I liked how they were translucent, but I'm just really not a fan of the Chuck Taylor silhouette. I don't know, that's my opinion. Feel free to share yours down below on any of the shoes I'm mentioning today, though. Next up, we have the Kyrie for Halloween for $120, releasing October 13th. It's very possible that this shoe is going to sell out because it is a themed Kyrie, what we've been seeing with the themed Kyries. Although they're not really profitable, maybe just very, very small profit, these themed Kyries have been selling out. For instance, take a look at all the cereal pairs. If you want this pair for personal wear, because I know there's a lot of Kyrie heads out there actually, don't sleep on this sneaker because I'm not expecting it to go on sale. But don't try to buy it for resale purposes. Although you might make $5 or $10, it's not worth it if you ask me. Moving on to the next sneaker, we have the Jordan 8 Turbo Green, also known as the Jordan 8 South Beach, releasing October 13th for $190. Now, in general, demand for Jordan 8s really hasn't been high. Even on those OVO 8s, they were barely going above retail to the point where you might be able to make $5 to $10 profit off of them. And that's saying a lot, considering OVOs usually do quite well, especially with the 12s and even somewhat well with the 10. I really can't see these being profitable at all just because they're a Jordan 8. Not only that, of course, but it is supposed to be a general release. I do think you probably will be able to catch this sneaker on sale, or if not on sale, perhaps on StockX or Go for a cheaper price. Moving on to the next release, we have the Jordan 10 Tinker. That's right, guys. We got another Tinker releasing. This shoe is releasing on October 20th for $190. Now, just like the Tinker 6s, I don't think that these will have a lot of demand on them. I don't see these being profitable just because the Tinker 3s aren't profitable either. So I would not suggest picking up this pair for resale purposes, and if you want to keep these for personal wear, you probably can sleep on them for a little while. Moving on to October 27th for $220, we have the Platinum Jordan 11, and this is a pair I'm actually considering picking up myself because I love my Jordan 11s. What can I say? Anyway, when it comes to this shoe, do not sleep on this shoe. Jordan 11s always tend to have a lot of demand. Even when it came to those Win Like 96s and the Win Like 82s, there was tons of stock on those, and they restocked a bunch. But what do you know, guys? They still sold out. So if you like these shoes for personal wear, I know $220 is kind of a hefty price. I still suggest going for these. But again, just like the Win Like 82s and the Win Like 96s, I'm not expecting these to be profitable. And it's not just because of that $220 retail, it's mostly because there's just going to be a lot of stock on these. So again, don't sleep on this shoe for personal wear, but don't buy it for resale purposes. Hey guys, just a quick update while I was editing actually. Yeezy Mafia just let us know that on October 27th, we will be seeing a new pair of 700s releasing. I am expecting these to be profitable and to sell out, so don't sleep for personal wear. And not only that, but regarding profits, don't expect anything crazy. It's probably going to be somewhere around like $30 to $60. Expect the profits to be somewhat similar to what you're seeing right now with the OG 700s. Now, with all those releases out of the way, let's move on to some releases without confirmed release date. So the first shoe we're going to be mentioning is the BBC, or Billionaires Boys Club Human Race Heart and Mind, that Yeezy Mafia actually released last month or the beginning of this month perhaps. Anyway, it will be releasing in October according to Yeezy Mafia, and the retail, like always on these human races, will be $250. I'm definitely expecting these to be profitable just because of how the last Billionaires Boys Club human race did. So although $250 is definitely a high retail price to pay, first of all, if you want the shoe for personal wear, it goes without a doubt that you shouldn't be sleeping on this pair. They're going to be extremely limited, so I think that there is definitely room for profit here. I don't think these are going to be going for as much as those cotton candies, but definitely expect some significant profit on these. Now, regarding where to purchase these, because these are going to be very scarce and difficult to find, download the Frenzy app because the Frenzy app will have these on the day of their release. The Frenzy app is basically just a compilation of a bunch of different stores that you could buy off of from that app. So you will see that BBC will be selling these through there. It will be a first come first serve process. So of course, just try your best to be quick. Make sure you set up Apple Pay within there. But when it comes to all the how to cop guides and everything like that, I'll be updating you guys throughout the rest of the month because right now there's kind of lackluster info when it comes to all of these releases. Moving on to the next release though, we have Daniel Arsham's Futurecraft 4D, if I pronounced his last name correctly, otherwise I apologize. But basically they will apparently be dropping on October 12th. I'm not 100% if this date is confirmed, so I didn't want to state it as confirmed, but I'm almost positive it's going to be October 12th. And I do understand that the retail is going to be very high on these. I believe it's $450. So yeah, you might be a little skeptical when it comes to reselling these. When it comes to all of these 4D shoes, especially the collaborations for the 4D shoes, all of them have been profitable as of yet, even though they have very, very high retail prices. And even though percentage-wise, it's not going to be that much profit, if you are willing to make that $450 investment, there's definitely a lot of profit to be made. And honestly, the only 4D that kind of did bad was the AlphaEdge 4D, and granted, that pair did release on adidas.com, and I believe there was actually somewhat decent stock on those, at least compared to the other 4D shoes that released. And even those, you were able to make around $20 to $40 profit in the common sizes. So I don't think there's much risk when it comes to these, even though the retail is really high. So I do suggest going for these. Now, moving on to the last pair that we're going to be talking about today, we have the Ultra Boost 2.0 Gold Medal re-releasing in October. Unfortunately, there is no confirmed date for these. Of course, retail will stay at $200, but again, no release date as of now. I would not suggest getting this shoe for resale purposes just because some of the common sizes are already just barely profitable. So imagine when more pairs go into circulation, it's probably not going to be that great. Perhaps you'll be able to make a couple of bucks. Nothing significant. I wouldn't suggest going for these. But again, when it comes to adidas.com, you do get free returns. So if you're willing to make a $200 investment for maybe a couple of bucks profit, hey, it doesn't hurt to go for them. But also, when it comes to personal wear on these, don't sleep on these. They'll definitely sell out. All right, so that will conclude today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do want to ask you guys down below, feel free to comment your opinions on any of these sneakers that I mentioned today. Not only that, but also your resale predictions. If you happen to disagree with anything, because I know these are just predictions. Nothing is set in stone, especially because we're far out from the release of most of these. Feel free to share your predictions down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Of course, this is one big community. We're always trying to communicate with each other, share some info, whatever it is. But with that, feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, if you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, subscribe and turn on post notifications to stay updated on any of these shoes that I mentioned, and just all hype shoes in general. I'll be making how to cop guides for them, store lists, raffles, whatever it is. I'll keep you guys updated on everything. With that though, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
You always tell me where you should be starting. Using your shoe like a size 12 weapon. Get your foot off my foot. Get your foot off my foot, yeah! Now I can't run and I can't walk. You hit me so hard, I don't want to talk. Get your foot off my foot. Get your foot off my foot, yeah! Why are you always in my way? Knocking me over every single day. Get your foot off my foot.